In the Elden Ring universe, few mysteries inspire as much speculation as the identity of the statue in Malekith's boss arena. The statue depicts a praying child surrounded by 3 wolves, with an ancient depiction of the Elden Ring overhead. Many believe that the DLC Shadow of the Erdtree would provide clarity on this figure, but it does not. The DLC contains no direct hints regarding this statue, which suggests that most relevant clues are hidden within the main game. In my research, I not only came across 2 prominent theories about the statue's identity, but I also uncovered connections between 2 individuals who, at first glance, seem unrelated, yet may indeed be linked. Since the statue and its overhead depiction are the only direct hints we have, it's crucial to start by analyzing every detail these elements offer. The child at the center of the wolves is clearly praying, though it's impossible to tell whether it's a boy or a girl. The child's hair includes something resembling a branch or part of a shrub, and both eyes are closed. One detail that immediately stands out is that the pose of the statue strongly resembles Miquella's pose in the final scene of Shadow of the Erdtree. In this cutscene, Miquella is shown making an oath and asking Radagon to become his consort to usher in a new age. However, since this does not fit the timeline, and Miquella has no known connection to Malekith or Farum Azula, we can rule out the possibility that the statue depicts him. Nevertheless, it's worth considering whether this might depict someone else making a similar oath. The 3 wolves surrounding the child also require careful consideration. In the game, these wolves resemble Radagon's wolf, but the art book depicts them as 3 white wolves. I couldn't determine why this discrepancy exists, but both depictions inform my theories. The symbolism of 3 wolves appears not only in Malekith's boss arena, but also at the tower where we meet Ranni. Early in the game, Ranni gives us the spirit ashes that summons these wolves. Above the statue, we see an image resembling an ancient version of the Elden Ring. Its deliberate placement above the statue makes it an integral piece of this puzzle. The depiction of the Elden Ring helps us situate the statue within a historical timeline, thereby narrowing the possibilities. Farum Azula is described as a place beyond time, implying that time either flows differently there or doesn't flow at all. This suggests that a journey to Farum Azula is akin to traveling into the past. Several items associated with the Crucible describe it as the Crucible of Life, the primordial form of the Erdtree. The description of the aspects of the Crucible Horn's incantation states, "This is a manifestation of the Erdtree's primal vital energies, an aspect of the primordial crucible, where all life was once blended together." This description indicates that the Crucible is not a singular entity, but a concept where life was once merged. This manifests in 2 ways throughout the lands between: animals with human traits, and humans with animalistic affinities, such as the Beastmen and Godskins, beings that combine human and animal features. It also appears in structures composed of blended corpses and the Gate of Divinity. Examining Farum Azula as a whole reveals several connections to the Crucible. Here, we encounter the Godskin duo, beings with inhuman animalistic capabilities. Godskin apostles can stretch their bodies like serpents, while Godskin nobles have snake-like tails. Godskin nobles are described as the most ancient apostles who are said to have assimilated in human physiology, not unlike the Crucible, the Erdtree in its primordial form. This is a clear reference to the Crucible. But that's not all. A closer look reveals that the stones of Farum Azula are formed from dead dragons, and the walls of some buildings are composed of deceased beastmen. The beastmen themselves resemble humans with animal traits. It is reasonable to conclude that Farum Azula exists in a bygone era, containing remnants of the Crucible Age. From this, we can infer that the depiction of the Elden Ring shows the version that existed at that time. Consequently, the statue likely represents a person who lived during the Age of the Crucible, a figure with significant connections to Farum Azula. The challenge is to interpret the remaining clues from the perspective of this ancient time and the concept of the Crucible. Wolves play a significant role in Elden Ring regarding the Empyreans, beings capable of attaining godhood. Wolves are bestowed upon them by the 2 fingers as shadow-bound beasts to serve as protectors. Examples include Blide for Rani and Malekith for Marika. But what if I told you there is a third such pairing hidden in the game? The description of the Raging Wolf armor states, armor worn by Vargram the Raging Wolf, one of the first Tarnished to visit the Round Table Hold. According to the old legends, wolves are the shadows of the Empyrean. Vargram aspired to such a state himself. This suggests that Vargram was a shadow, or something similar for an Empyrean. He wields the Godslayer's greatsword, the weapon of the Gloam-Eyed-Queen, and is encountered during the Volcano Manor questline. Volcano Manor itself has strong ties to the Gloam-Eyed-Queen, implying that Vargram was her shadow-bound beast. Now, you might be wondering how this connects to the statue in Farum Azula. The Raging Wolf helm description notes, Vargram earned his nickname from the white wolf pelt that adorns this helm. In the Elden Ring art book, the statue is surrounded by 3 such white wolves. But this is far from the only connection between Farum Azula and the Gloam-Eyed-Queen, as my previous videos have shown. According to the Black Flame ritual description, the Gloam-Eyed-Queen was an Empyrean chosen by the Fingers, meant to ascend to godhood. I believe the statue depicts the moment when the Gloam-Eyed-Queen was chosen by the Fingers, destined to become the god consort of Placidusax. The godskin swaddling cloth tells us the following. Sacred cloth of the godskin apostles, made from supple skin sewn together. The Gloam-Eyed-Queen cradles newborn apostles swaddled in this cloth. Soon they will grow to become the death of the gods. To me, this sounds as though the godskins are sewn into this fabric at birth, never to be removed, allowing them to grow with the cloth. This could explain why the godskins share the same skin tone as the flayed gods they worship. Another intriguing detail is that wrapping newborns in this cloth creates a godskin, a humanoid entity with animalistic affinities, similar to what is described in relation to the Crucible, where life gets blended together. Does this mean the Gloam-Eyed-Queen hunts and flays gods to make swaddling cloths, which appear to function as a kind of crucible, thereby building her own army? The swaddling cloth itself resembles a self-stitched serpent egg, which could explain the godskin's affinity with snakes. However, this is not the only theory that has come to my mind. The more I researched, the more connections I noticed between the Gloam-Eyed-Queen and another very prominent character who, at first glance, seems unrelated. None other than Radagon of the Golden Order, consort and second half of Marika the Eternal. The aspect that initially led me to this idea is the statue in Farum Azula, which is depicted alongside wolves that strongly resemble Radagon's wolf. This connection also links Radagon to the Carians. Moving on, I noticed another curious detail. Rennala and Radagon had 3 children together, Rykard, Radahn, and Ranni. At the Divine Tower of Caelid, the site where Radahn's rune is activated, we encounter a godskin apostle guarding the Godslayer's greatsword. At the Divine Tower of Liurnia, where Ranni's body is found at the top, another godskin apostle awaits. In Volcano Manor, where Rykard resides, we again find a godskin apostle. As previously established, the presence of godskins often signifies a significant connection to the Gloam-Eyed-Queen. So why do we find evidence of the Gloam-Eyed-Queen in locations associated with Radagon and Rennala's children? At the Divine Tower of Caelid, we find the Gloam-Eyed-Queen's sword. At the tower in Liurnia, we see Ranni's burnt remains, the result of Godwyn the Golden's execution. In Rykard's palace, we encounter him consumed by a giant serpent. In Farum Azula, we find the Blasphemous Claw, an item that provides an advantage in the battle against Malekith, the Gloam-Eyed-Queen's vanquisher. The item's description reveals that it was once given to Rykard by Ranni. As previously mentioned, the Crucible is closely tied to the Gloam-Eyed-Queen. Some item descriptions indicate that the Crucible Knight's weapons are imbued with ancient holy essence. This holy essence is referred to as primordial gold, which is visible when wielding their weapons. This color strongly resembles the blade Radagon's wolf wields in its mouth when attacking us with a blade incantation. It seems Radagon's wolf uses a crucible-related incantation. In the boss room, we then find the Radagon icon, depicting Radagon with a cluster of golden flowers behind him. This cluster reminds me of the one in the statue's hair. Call me crazy, but I see more and more connections between this statue and a younger version of Radagon. We have the link between Radagon and the Gloam-Eyed-Queen, who is tied to Farum Azula. The statue depicts 3 wolves resembling Radagon's wolf. Radagon has 3 children who are associated with the Godskins. There is a connection to the Crucible. Radagon also fits into the timeline. Moreover, his son Miquella adopts a similar pose when making a vow. It's also mentioned that while Radagon and Marika share a body, they pursue opposing goals. Marika shattered the Elden Ring, while Radagon sought to repair it. Could this statue depict Radagon, swearing an oath to the greater will to thwart Marika's plans at all costs? If so, why is this statue located in Farum Azula? Let me know what you think of my theory. What can you add, or what doesn't make sense to you? Share your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you next time.